Should mums learn to cut themselves a bit of slack? Psychologist Nancy Darling says guilt and self-doubt are marks of a really good parent, but how much self-criticism is too much? It is our daily dilemma. Are mums their own harshest critics? Let's talk about that with Margaret Rafferty from Kidspot.com.au. Hi, Margaret. It's so true. Mums do put so much pressure on themselves. Why is that?
They do. Well, I think really the crux of the matter is there are so many ways to get it wrong, we're told. And, we know we don't want to be a helicopter parent, but we want to take an interest, and we know we need to take time for ourselves, but we can't be selfish about it. And being perfect parent for 20 years is pretty much impossible. I mean, most days it's hard to do for 20 minutes, sometimes 20 seconds.
Other mothers are very tough on other mothers.
Well, I don't know if they are, because I know you wrote about this in your book, Mother Guilt, and I think that if you are confident in your decisions, then other people's judgment won't make a difference. And if other people are doubting themselves, they will judge others. So really it's a reflection of the person making the judgment rather than the parent themselves when they're called out.
Eleanor Roosevelt, who said no one can make you feel inferior without your own consent.
Exactly, exactly. But we do beat ourselves up about everything when we're mothers. Every decision we make is called into question, and part of it is the amount of commentary there is these days around parenting. And, I make a living writing about parenting. I don't want to be part of that. I want to make people feel good about the decisions they make. But inevitably, sometimes you'll write something or say something that hits a soft point, a sore spot for someone, and
I don't want to brag,
bad.
but I didn't feel bad about the decisions I made about my children. But then maybe I've got good, healthy self-esteem. Maybe that's what it's all about.
Maybe it is.
I think Ida's right though. Like the one thing that strikes me is how quick parents and mums are to tear into other mums and other parents for doing absolutely everything wrong. And if you were perfectly, if you were like I and had perfectly good self-esteem and thought you were doing a great job at the beginning, you certainly wouldn't at the end of it, because every time someone raises a flag like this, and I guarantee this article will get the same vituperative response from a whole bunch of, angry people with too much time on their hands going, oh my God, how could you say mothers are their own worst enemy? I'm not my worst enemy, it's other mothers, they're always attacking me because they're bitches.
And do you think, Ida, do you think it's also a little bit of a generational thing? It seems as though, and my mother-in-law is an excellent example of this, women were just much more practical and pragmatic a couple of generations ago.
We just got on with it. We just got on with it, I think, and we didn't see this need, this pursuit of perfection that so many mothers seem to think they must have today. In my book, I say you don't have to be the perfect mother. Good enough is fine, and that's what women need to learn. Good enough is terrific.
Exactly. And I think part of it is too that we have this standard of perfection across our lives. It's the Instagram generation. We're all our perfect meal that we've cooked with our lovely hair and our makeup and everything looks great.
I spend too much time thinking about it. If they're still alive at 18, you've done well.
I think my mum is her biggest critic, because who else would criticise her? She's perfect.
Oh.
Hey, Mummy.
Our mums, their own harshest critics. You can join the discussion at kidspot.com.au. Margaret, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.